Hi all, this is Alex with INBOX25, Marketing Automation Made Easy. Thanks for attending today's webinar, Creating Impactful Workflows Using the INBOX25 Integrations. At the end of the webinar, there will be a short Q&A. If at any point during the webinar you have a quick question, just throw it in the chat bubble. I will get to as many as I can, and any questions I don't answer, I will follow up in an email after the demonstration. Today's webinar is being recorded live and will be up for further viewing on our knowledge base as well as on our YouTube channel. So with that being said, let's get right into it. So at INBOX25, we have some awesome integrations that we allow you to utilize with our automation campaign wizard, as well as lead scoring. The integrations we allow you to incorporate are GoToWebinar, Twilio, Live Chat and Olark, as well as Zendesk. We also have integrations with Salesforce and Google Analytics, but I'm not going to go too much in depth today. Now, just to make it clear, INBOX25 does not assist in the sales of our integrations. They are completely separate entities. However, if you do use these services, we make it easier to manage, integrate both paid services, INBOX25, as well as the integration from one screen. No need to toggle back and forth. All right, so let's go over each of the integrations. So GoToWebinar is a screen sharing application as we're using today, and it allows you to hold conference calls with people around the globe. Leads can enroll in your webinars, and you can set up a pre-reminder email as well as a post-follow-up email. You can see who is registered for webinars from within the GoToWebinar manager. Twilio is an SMS-based service that allows you to send SMS to your own colleagues and agents or to leads as well. Twilio is typically used to send quick promotions to existing customers as well as on-the-fly incentives to prospects on the fence about a product to go onto the site and take a gander. Zendesk is a support ticketing system that allows your support team to respond to all incoming requests efficiently. Tickets are assigned to specific agents or to a group of agents, and all the tracking and analytics are found right within the UI. You can create new users for prospects that have not opened a ticket for you before, as well as append existing history to an existing user. Live Chat and Olark are live sales as well as support chat applications that allow your agents to have real-time conversations with people visiting your website. It's a great tool for marketing as well as for on-the-spot support. You can get quick answers about a product or a quick issue you're having, and an agent can help you right away, assuming that the issue can be solved, within limited support capacity. If there are no agents online, you can leave an offline message, and someone from the organization will get back to you ASAP. By the way, Live Chat also integrates with Zendesk. So, with INBOX25, after configuring the integrations, you're able to use them as conditions or actions and could potentially make your managing your integrations and including them with your broader marketing strategy seamless, efficient, and, well, all under one roof. You can utilize lead scoring to qualify and quantify a lead if they're engaging with you via these integrations. To complement the user experience, you're able to review reporting analytics for each of your integrations. For GoToWebinar, Twilio, and Zendesk, you can manually update records via our timeline report, shown here. You can enroll records into a webinar from the timeline report. You can create a ticket for them, or you can send an SMS. You can also complete these actions using our automation tool. Today, I will be highlighting some real-world examples using these integrations, as well as showcase some workflows you, the users, have come up with. So the $64,000 question is, how can I incorporate these diverse applications into automated workflows to manage the different moving parts easily? Well, the answer is INBOX25. So let's talk about benefit. Why should you be using these applications, or better yet, how can you possibly incorporate these applications within your greater marketing strategy? Well, let's start with Zendesk. As I mentioned, it's support-based applications. How can it be incorporated into this broader marketing strategy of staying engaged with your leads? Well, first, you can score leads who are engaging with your support portal. You're allowed to send thank you emails or customer satisfaction surveys using our landing pages once a ticket has been solved. You can also route leads to specific sales agents to their corresponding Sugar account. So not only do they own the record in Zendesk as an agent, but they will also own the ticket. They can own the ticket in Zendesk and also own the record in Sugar CRM. Excuse me. With Twilio, you can send SMS to reminders to your sales reps that a lead has been assigned to them. You could also send, as I mentioned before, promotional emails or other on-the-fly SMS to records to gain quick brand awareness. You can also combine SMS with other digital marketing to perhaps direct them to your website by including links to your website inside the SMS itself. GoToWebinar. You can send pre-webinar reminder emails to your leads, an hour, a day before the webinar is supposed to be held. And you can also send a post-webinar follow-up, maybe thanking them, asking them to fill out a quick survey of what they thought about the webinar and which webinars they'd like to see in the future. You can enroll people into webinars via our landing pages and engage with them based on the landing page conversion as well as webinar enrolled in. You can also send attendees of a particular webinar a customer satisfaction email if you just wanted to send a dedicated email campaign to a specific segment. Live chat and OLARC. Well, you can add people who have put in a specific word or phrase, or if there's a specific duration of the chat into a target list and segment them for future marketing. You can also target chats after X date with a brand awareness campaign. Start with, say, maybe 3 or 4 emails, one email going off a week, a month, to just sort of make them more comfortable with your services and your offerings. Not to mention that you can score chats, transcripts, duration based on the rating. So now that I've covered some of the benefits of each of the integration, how can we combine them to make this a very whole strategy that we're working with? Well, Twilio is easy to combine with either of these applications. Sometimes sending an email just isn't enough. You want to ensure that your leads have properly received the marketing communications across multiple mediums. So SMS is a very personal way to stay in touch with your leads, just by, say, sending a very friendly thank you SMS. Nothing special, just a simple thank you. And maybe sending it to those who have attended a webinar, or perhaps a reminder SMS of upcoming webinars after the webinar has been presented. You could combine, live chat with GoToWebinar and have your agents post a link to a landing page asking the lead to enroll in upcoming webinars during the chat transcript. You can then send them a reminder email after the chat session has ended with yet another link to that landing page, so giving them a second opportunity to convert on that form. You could also combine Twilio and Zendesk to just simply send, how are we doing SMS to users once a support ticket has been closed. So what kind of reporting do you get using these integrations with INBOX25? Well, on this screenshot, you can see the steps to take to view the reports of your active integrations. First step is going to reports and then integration reports, and then you're able to view each report individually. So with Zendesk, you're able to view the ticket transcripts of all incoming help tickets. You can view tickets created, new versus returning targets, tickets solved, as well as any opportunities associated with the targets. You can sort by agent, status, lead score, or the date the ticket was requested. With GoToWebinar, you're able to see total webinars, registrants, attendees, targets created, and any opportunities associated. You can drill down further by specific webinar to see if it's been presented or if it's scheduled via a colored icon. You can see registrants versus attendee percentage, average attendee duration, repeat attendees, as well as new targets created from the webinar. With live chat and OLARC, you can see chats created, unidentified versus returning participants, as well as rating ratings for chats. You can sort by chat session or name of target, duration, rated, agent, lead score, as well as the end time date. Not to mention, for each of these reports comes with a neat little chart and graphs that you can sort and play around with to combine visuals with the hard numbers. All right, so now that we're through with the presentation, let's get on to the demonstration of the webinar. So today I came up with a very, very fancy idea to show you as a lead how you would go about combining these integrations. So I'm on a website, let's say a random user's website, and I want to initiate a chat with an OLARC agent. So with OLARC, to make sure that, and this is just the best practice, to make sure that you're capturing the leads appropriately, there's a pre-chat survey that you can set up in your OLARC account, and just make sure that one of those pre-chat qualifiers is the email address. As you know, email addresses are the key to syncing a record into INBOX25. Okay, so I'm just going to put in my name, and I'm going to say my name is Alex, and I will put my email in here to initiate a chat with this agent. Click here to start chatting. Oh, questions? We'd love to chat. Hey, agent, I need some help. Okay, see, so this agent's very, very responsive, so looking for specific services. You know what, I've perused the site enough. Okay, great. So, you know what, I had the chat, they were very helpful, I found what I was looking for, so now I can go ahead and I can close this chat out. So let me get off of this web page, and let me go into INBOX25. Great. So that transcript has now ended. So just to follow the steps from the presentation, if I want to go to view reports for my integrations, I'll simply go to reports and then integration reports. All right, so the integrations that we have enabled are live chat, OLARC, Zendesk, and GoToWebinar. Let's just start from right to left, and let's start with GoToWebinar. So as I mentioned before, all the analytics that you're able to mention, just want to briefly go over. You can see webinars scheduled versus ones that have been completed via the colored icon, green check mark versus purple schedule. And you can see registrants versus webinars, attendees, targets created, and opportunities associated. If we go back to reports, let's say, oh, I want to look at my Zendesk tickets. Perfect. So as you can see here, target net identified would mean that the target was either removed from the CRM or it was an anonymous visitor. But we can view the transcript. Blah, blah, blah. Hey, how are you, hero? We're able to see the status, any updates to the ticket, as well as the agent. All right, so now let's go over to OLARC. All right, and what do we have here? Oh, look, the chat transcript that I had with the agent before is right here, and I can view it right from this neat little window. I can also see the end date, the duration, score, and the INBOX25 chat. Who was the agent? Perfect. So now I want to go through some workflows that I actually created that would be based off of an sample OLARC chat, just like that one I used today, and what would happen with that user. So this is emphasizing combining the multiple integrations. So the first thing is I'm leveraging the condition of OLARC. So OLARC session was ended after X date, any word, match word or phrase, chat. So anyone who had a chat and used the word chat in the transcript. First, we're going to send them an SMS. Very simple SMS. Thank you for chatting with us. Learn more at yourdomain.com. So this is what I was referencing as driving them to your website. Very simple SMS, not trying to upsell them, not trying to cross-sell them, just trying to stay in touch. And then, of course, after 5 minutes, they'll receive an email, which is what is the best marketing approach. So right now, I'm using OLARC and Twilio, but I'm also sending an email campaign. And in this email campaign is a link that when redirected, will take you to a landing page. So if I go to preview, oops, sorry, that didn't work. Let's try that again. In fact, let's do one better and show you the landing page that it was linked to. So this is a very simple form, very easy, but as you can see, oops, that was the incorrect page. Apologize for that, folks. Let me get on to that. Awesome, okay. So the link will redirect you to a landing page which will ask you to enroll in one of 4 webinars. So this workflow that I was using is combining the OLARC chat session, so from the start point of the lead being created, all the way to just staying engaged with them via an SMS, and then sending an email with a link to webinars. The webinars will obviously be brand awareness as well as driving them to use or at least explore services offered. So let's create an automated workflow together. Now, this is a workflow that a user actually created, so I'm going to be mimicking the exact same workflow that they use. So I'm going to start with selecting my target audience, and I'm going to say Zendesk ticket rated good, send SMS plus email. And I'm going to make this a smart campaign. So from these conditions, I bet you're going to ask yourself, well, which one am I going to use? Well, that will be the Zendesk condition. So we'll say ticket was rated good. Awesome. So any ticket requester after, oh, let's just say this is a brand new campaign, so let's just start it from today. And we'll do any agent. We want it to be broad. Doesn't matter what type, but it matters the status. The status needs to be solved. Now, if the status is solved, what's the rating? Let's say bad. Awesome. So any ticket requested after today, doesn't matter what agent, doesn't matter what type of ticket, as long as it was rated bad. What do we want to do? Okay, well, first action is going to happen instantaneously. And it's going to be sending an email. And this is actually going to be a thank you email. And it's going to be thank you for submitting your support ticket. So send thank you email. And I'm just going to use an email that I've already deployed before, just for the sake of time, just so you get the gist of what the workflow will actually be structured like. So we'll finish this. Great. Okay, so this is our thank you email. Perfect. So what next? Well, we're going to wait 5 minutes. Now we're going to send them an SMS. So the SMS number is located within the mobile field within Sugar CRM, and it's going to also say the very same basic message, thank you for your submitting your support request. Send thank you SMS. Awesome. Great. Now, here's where it gets a little more interesting. So the user that created this workflow, the reason that they're targeting tickets rated bad is because they wanted to know how they can improve the support portal and the assistance. So what they did is, after 1 week, they go off and they send an email, which is a email that the message is basically explaining their support processes and their support procedures, and then there's a link in that email that goes to a landing page. Now, this landing page is more of a survey, and it's more of a customer satisfaction survey, and the gist of the landing page was, what was the response time of the ticket? Were you satisfied with the response time? Was the agent able to assist you in your issue or question or incident? If not, leave a comment of how they could have done better. And then they summed it all up with one last question on the landing page, which was, please, very open-ended, very paragraph, and it was just, please leave us any feedback and suggestions to help improve our support system and process for you, the user. So send customer satisfaction email, and I'll just go into edit the message. Wonderful, that's the email. And there we go. Perfect. So this workflow was very centric to using Zendesk, but it was also combining Twilio, as you saw before. And the email marketing process and the thought process going behind this is not really meant for lead generation, not really meant for marketing, really just meant to cement your own support processes down to make sure that you're providing the most accurate and most adequate support. And the reason I wanted to highlight this is because not only can you use INBOX25 and not only the integrations for marketing and sales purposes, but you can also use it to gain valuable feedback from your users and advance upon that by possibly creating new marketing or sales processes. Okay, folks, so that's it for the demonstration today. I want to go over some frequently asked questions that users have submitted that have to deal with using integrations. This question is more focused towards the GoToWebinar. So a frequently asked question is, how do I add registrants of a GoToWebinar to a specific target list? I want to map the form conversion to a target list. Well, I can tell you that you cannot, with INBOX25 landing pages, you absolutely cannot map form conversions to a specific target list. You must map it to either a CRM or a marketing list. Now, this is where automation takes control, because you will use an automated workflow to leverage the landing page conversion or possibly the enrollment of a particular webinar, and then you will use the action of adding to a Sugar CRM target list. And then you just pick the list of your choosing. Just make sure that you create the target list in Sugar CRM first and foremost before looking to finish this workflow. Another frequently asked question that has to deal with GoToWebinar is, how do I set up a pre-reminder email? And how do I set up a post-webinar follow-up? And how do I make sure that it works correctly? That's a great question. I'm actually going to go into the Automation Manager to show you. So generally speaking, INBOX25, the wait connector is used to execute an action after a conditional statement has been made, right? Now, with GoToWebinar, it's a little different. As I mentioned, you can send a pre-webinar reminder. So this is before the webinar is scheduled. So let's say they did register for this particular webinar. I want to send a pre-webinar reminder email. And I want this to happen after, let's say, 1 day before the webinar. So how does this work? Well, what we're looking for is we're checking the scheduled time for the webinar itself. So today's webinar started at 1 p.m. If I wanted to send a pre-webinar reminder 1 day before the scheduled webinar today, well, that email would have gone off yesterday at 1 p.m. And that's specifically because we are using the pre-webinar reminder operator within the GoToWebinar condition. Aside from that, there is very limited ways to send a reminder email before X time, unless you're very careful with planning and management of your conditional statements. Okay, so these questions are geared more towards live chat and OLARC. So one frequently asked question is, some of my chats don't pop into the integration reports with a record that is assigned to them. Why is that so? Well, the main cause why a transcript will be uploaded into your INBOX25 account however, a target has not been identified, is, as I mentioned before, when you're configuring live chat or you're configuring OLARC inside the application, not inside Inbox, it's very, very, very fruitful that you check off the requirement for a pre-chat survey and that you're requiring the requester to give you their email address. If they give you their email address, then we can sync that record into INBOX25, and then we can identify them. Now, if they don't provide their name, there won't be a name attached, so it's probably recommended to not only require an email address, but also a name so you know who you're speaking with. Now, when people are having chats and they're identifying themselves with their name and email address, those will pop up inside the integration report, as well as syncing into your INBOX25 account. Another frequently asked question is, I see that in your automation wizard, you can use comma-separated tags. How do I go about using that? Well, with Live Chat and OLARC, you're able to configure tags with the chat. So you can tag a chat with something specific. So to give you an example, if there's an agent having a chat with you and they are inquiring about pricing, well, maybe you have a tag in your Live Chat or OLARC which is pricing. You add the tag to it, and then once the chat has ended and the record has been ported over into INBOX25, we will be able to pick up on that tag, i.e. pricing, that's attached with that transcript, and then the automation will fire off. Okay, this next question is geared more towards Twilio, and the question is, I've been trying to send out an SMS to a lead, and the SMS keeps failing. I have the mobile phone field in there. What am I doing wrong? Okay. Sending SMS via INBOX25 can be a little tricky, but once you configure it properly, it will work smoothly. So when sending an SMS, Twilio and INBOX25 are looking for not only the mobile number, but also the country code that it's being sent to. By default, Twilio will always revert to the USA, or I guess whatever default country you configure in your Twilio account. And what we're looking for is not only the mobile number, but we're looking at the country data field inside your Sugar CRM. So if the mobile number is 123-456-7890 and the country is, oh, I don't know, Azerbaijan, well, then the country code that's going to be used to send that SMS for that record is going to be the Azerbaijan country code followed by the mobile phone field. So it's very important that you are gaining some address information from your leads, because if you're not getting any address information, well, INBOX25 is going to go off of geotag information, or it's going to revert to the USA country code. Okay, so I will now open the floor for some more questions from the attendees. I'll give you guys a few seconds if you have any last-minute questions. Perfect. Okay. Well, guys, thank you for attending today's webinar using INBOX25 integrations to create impactful workflows. Oh, wait. I have a question here. I see you can send a reminder 1 day before. Okay, so this is related to GoToWebinar. Can you send a reminder of a meeting 1 day before or call? Okay, I see your question. So that is more related to the functionality of the integration between Sugar CRM and INBOX25. You will not be able to create an email using the wait connector of before. However, if you plan your conditional statements, for example, if meeting is planned after X date or equals X date, then send an email, 1 day after or 2 days after. Basically, in order to complete this workflow scheme, you need to be careful with your timing as well as the activation of the workflow. So as opposed to GoToWebinar, where we're just pulling the time of the scheduled webinar, you need to do your due diligence of making sure that the reminder is going out at the appropriate time based off of the date of the meeting and or call. All right, so are there any last minute questions? All right, perfect. So guys, thank you for attending today's webinar. Please, if you haven't, sign up for our future webinars coming up. We have another one scheduled for this Thursday. My name is Alex with INBOX25. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and please look for this webinar up in the near future after it's been put up on our YouTube and knowledge base. Have a great day, and take care.